Now, what my objective was is to get them just to. This was my way of getting my foot in the door with them. That's the key, okay? Because a lot of people don't know how to bridge the gap. How do you go from cold calling somebody or talking to a stranger or even a friend of yours to talking about your business? Now, that's why I made this phone call so quick and so direct to the point. I just trying to get them the email. Now, this was what allowed me to get the email to them and open the door for my conversation. Now, basically, here's the thing, is I'll probably have to do another, for time's sake, I'm going to probably do another video of these on follow-up. But along the same lines of recruiting. Now, this is what I did. Now, here's the thing, is I understood, because back to the beginning of the video, is I was talking about I needed 100 people in my organization, at least. The way I estimated it, if most of the people were on one case and some of them were on two case, it was probably going to come out to about my $500 goal. Now, if I had to sponsor all 100 of them myself, I was going to do it, because it was so important to me to have that extra $500 a month because of the pressures that were going on financially in our lives. Now, once I had done this, my goal was, I understood that I had to break this down, okay, and I knew it wasn't going to happen overnight. But I realized that if I sent out, and a ratio appeared, and this comes from a teaching by Jim Rohn. He said if you do something long enough, a ratio will appear. If you do the same thing long enough, a ratio will appear. Now, it's the same thing as a batting average. If a professional ball player is swinging the bat, 10 times, he strikes out 7 times but connects with the ball 3 out of 10, that's a 300 batting average. And I realized that, hey, I could be an overwhelming loser in this thing. I could still make some money at it, so I had something going for me. But what I understood is the majority of people I talked to would give me permission to send them an email. I mean, very, very few times did anybody say I couldn't. So that was a positive thing in kind of lifting up my attitude when I was doing this. Now, the next thing I did, though, is I made it a goal, my personal thing, because what I was looking to do was my objective was to call as many people as I needed to, or dial the phone as many times as I needed to, so that I sent out a minimum of 20 emails a day. Now, I don't do that as much as I did back then, because now I got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I'm working with specific groups and teaching them to do the same. But when you're brand new in this is the most critical point, okay? Here's the thing. I'm going to kind of, and I'll do another video on how to follow up, because this is going to help you step by step to close everybody. Most people are going to be out there and they're going to overtrain themselves. They're going to try to become educated on all these things, and you're going to buy every book and CD. And I'm not saying there's not a place for those things, and I am definitely a student of the game. I read everything I could get my hands on, listen to all the videos, listen to all the training tips. I don't care who's putting them out, I'm listening to them, because it's great information. But here's the thing, is you got to learn to get the heck out of your comfort zone and just do what it takes, and that's make that stupid phone call to get in contact with somebody. I'm just telling you, you don't have to be as smart as you think you do to be successful in this. There's people making 6-figure incomes in this business and many other businesses because they only just worked the numbers. They didn't know squat. They're really not that sharp. Hello, and they went and they did what it took, and that was all I was looking to do, was make contact after contact after contact after contact, and I knew eventually I was going to run into the people that I needed to, so that they were going to see it like I did, and they were going to at least try the product, and they were going to get involved. Okay, so I'm going to follow up with this. I'm going to hopefully that gets you started, and I'm going to do another video on follow-up, because this is where the fortune is. The fortune's in the follow-up. So hang with me on this and go to the next video I got for this. So stick around. All right, welcome back. Second part of how to recruit, and this one's called follow-up. And here's what I'm going to tell you. The fortune is absolutely in the follow-up, because this is where I see most people fail. Okay, some people actually don't have a problem contacting people and getting the word out and getting to them, getting them to their website and things like that. Now, if you don't follow up with somebody, a lot of times people are actually waiting to see if you're going to call them, okay? You have to go after your fortune. Understand that. You have to go after your fortune. You have to go climb the mountain to get to where you need to be. You have to go dig the dirt to find the gold. It's up to you to get that done most of the time. So what I did is, once I had, and bringing back my little yellow pad, is once I had sent, an example in the first video, Chuck his email. Okay, I wrote down when I sent it, and I wrote down maybe within 24 to 48 hours that I was going to follow up with him. If I had not received a phone call or an email, I knew it was my responsibility in most cases. So then what I would do is I would call Chuck up, and I'd say, hey, Chuck, this is Mike. Listen, I just wanted to make sure you got my email. Yeah, I got your email, and we would talk. And I would say, listen, what did you like best? I always ask that one specifically. I said, hey, what did you like best about that? Now, one of the cool things with the Create My Success system and maybe some of the websites that you use out there is most of them nowadays have a tracking that you can tell if they went and viewed it and things like that. So it's a lot of times that. But I always ask them that question because I'm trying to engage a conversation. Now, speaking of engaging a conversation, one of the things you have to understand is you should not be intimidated by what anybody's talking about on the phone. And understand this. Don't take any of this stuff personal, okay? It is not up to you to get somebody in the business. It's up to them to get themselves in the business. It's just your objective to ask enough questions to direct them to kind of making a decision that you would like them to make is really what it comes down to. Now, I called Chuck up. I said, Chuck, what did you like best? And Chuck started telling me. And for instance, let's say he went and he watched the video, and actually, if he was on my system, he went and watched the video that we have posted on there, the one of the webinar that I have recorded, and he started to view that. Well, he watched this and he saw the power of the company and he saw the benefits of the product. Well, maybe he's not interested right now in an opportunity because he's quote unquote thinking it's going to take a lot of his time. And I respect that. Now, here's the thing. I don't start going into all the objective videos or audios that I've listened to and how to answer that objection. I agree with him. I'd say, you know, that's a great point you make there. I'm sure you're a busy guy. Here's what I would recommend, though. You at least try the product because I think, as you'll see with most people in our business, and this is what I tell them, I would say, listen, what I've seen with most people is once they try our product, they then end up telling people, and it's totally up to you, Chuck. You don't ever have to, but I really, as a person, and you know, by the way, Chuck, what are you dealing with? And he might list 5 or 6 things health-wise that, you know, hypothetically this product may address, and I'll just go into those. I'll say, well, this is the research that we found on that, and I won't go into a lot of detail, and perhaps especially, this is kind of an ace in the hole if you've got this, is you may want to have a couple testimonies on that or some people that you know who have dealt with issues in certain areas that are kind of commonplace, pain, arthritis, inflammation, things like that. And I may even take the time to do a 3-way with Chuck, okay, and put him on the phone. Let's say I call my sponsor, George, and I say, hey, George, remember how you were telling me this product addressed your pain issue? This is Chuck. I got him on the phone. And I don't ask permission, by the way, to do a 3-way. I just say, hold on, and I'll 3-way George and let him talk. And I listen. And since I'm brand new in the business, it allows me to hear the same testimony over and over and over again so that pretty soon it will flow right out just like I was the one saying it. Now, what I'm going to do with Chuck is my only objective right now is to just get Chuck to try the product. Okay, and I think that's where a lot of people put the pressure on themselves is they're trying to not only sponsor somebody, they're trying to sponsor somebody to go out and build this huge business and have a lot of time. A lot of phone calls.